record this. There we go. So welcome everybody to those that are watching later. But what I wanted to go over tonight is really just the 6 steps, and I posted it earlier, but the 6 steps to success when it comes to getting back after holidays, after a trip, when we're in a slump. And this is something that I know I've been dealing with myself, and you guys aren't alone. The reason this is coming up is because I was on a call with a client this week, and we were talking about just how frustrated she was and the fact that she just felt like she wasn't doing her best. She felt like last week was kind of a wash with the holiday, with work, and just frustrated that she was falling off plan. And what do you do when that happens? What kind of mindset? How do you adjust the mindset? And she said it helped when I was explaining to her that even myself as a coach and someone that prides myself on health and coaches nutrition, fitness, that yeah, I had fallen off too. That myself included, I haven't been seeing as much weight loss as I would like. That come Sunday, I had 4 Reese's Cup eggs because they came in packs of 2. And the week before that, I had some cookies from a friend of mine that I got in Nashville. His wife makes cookies in Georgia, and they're fantastic. They're called Flippin' Sweet Treats, and absolutely amazing, but not great for the goals and conducive to what I was aiming for. So even myself, I fall off. And just when it comes to steps to success, yeah, I just kind of put a couple points together. And as far as, has anybody else had that experience though? Anybody else kind of feel that they have fallen off before, or they're getting a little bit burnout as we get into spring? You can put a 1 in the chat if you have, put a 2 if you haven't. So I know and can kind of see. One, Curtis, you were shaking your head, yes. Experienced that. Anybody else here? 1 or 2 here, guys. 1, okay. Just falling off a little bit. Yeah, as Kenzie, Ashley, same thing, same question. 1 or 2 here. 1, okay. So it seems to be pretty common, just the idea of falling off and just having a little bit of a struggle to get the train moving again. Is there anything that, when I was talking about that, anything that came up for anybody? For you, Curtis, is anything in particular that came up, and a thought, an idea?
Yeah, definitely. When you're talking about sweets, sometimes that's like not sometimes. Normally, that's kind of like my Achilles heel. But look, man, you just had like 4 little Reese's egg, man. There's been times I've demolished like a whole row of like Oreos and stuff. That's why I tell my wife like we can't have that stuff in the house. But yeah, it's definitely not a good feeling. Like you think you're enjoying it while you're having it, and after the fact, it's like, oh, why'd I do that? So yeah,
Yeah,
I can definitely relate to that feeling. And then sometimes it's like, especially if it's earlier in the day, you fall off and you're like, oh well, this day is kind of a wash. I might as well go ahead and dive deeper into the cavern. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
yeah, no, I feel that, and that's typical. Which is kind of why I wanted to go over is because those days that we do fall off is the reason that we are training and the reason that we are building up our calories and metabolisms to a point where we're able to not feel as bad emotionally, mentally, because physically you're going to feel bad. We're eating all that sugar, you're going to load the body up, you're going to feel it the next day. Doesn't matter who you are. But emotionally, mentally, knowing that it's okay that we have the metabolism built up to a point where these days, Easter's, the holidays, the times that we do come across a pack of Oreos, which I've got under my desk, 2 of them here. They're the Pokemon. But yeah, for days when we fall off track or anything, yeah, it's not going to, just knowing that it's not going to throw off all our results, all our hard work and everything. So as far as the 6 points here is that I've got written down and that I wanted to touch base with you guys on. Point number 1, step number 1 is just being coachable. A lot, and this comes to myself included because I work with a coach on mindset with business, and he's he's worked with me with nutrition and fitness myself, but being coachable, understanding that whatever got you to the dance is not working, and that even though you might know it all or have read something or have done something or have been told something or something's worked in the past, doesn't mean it's going to work in the future. So just having the open-mindedness to be able to take feedback, to be in a state of mind where you're able to make changes. Because personally, something that I've struggled with is when I get feedback, I resist it, I hear it, and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. And that's typically where I get myself in trouble. I found that that's typical with a lot of people. Nobody likes to be told what to do. So, and as a coach and someone that is coaching you guys, my job is always to make it easier to ingest the information, making it easier to be coachable, not telling you what to do, but helping you understand why we're doing something. So as far as being coachable goes, that's always step number one, is just to have the mindset of being open-minded. That's what it comes down to. Does it make sense for everybody? One in the chat if it does, just since everybody is named up. No one has their cameras on. So. One, perfect, awesome. Second thing here I have is just making sure we have some focus points. Step number 2 is to make sure that we have our overall goal. We know what we're doing in a year, but we also know what we're doing in 90 days, as well in 60 days, in 30 days. Just kind of a roadmap, a mindset, things to focus on. Otherwise, if we just focus on the 30 pounds of weight loss that we want to achieve over the next year, it's going to be a while. You're going to lack that focus. You're going to get to a point where we've lost 18 pounds and you've got 12 left, and you're going to be frustrated because we're still focusing on the same goal. So being able to break that up. And this is nothing new. This is nothing. I'm not telling you anything I'm not reinventing the wheel as far as telling you that you need sub goals, but the reason for them is because that's why, to keep yourself motivated. Play a game with yourself, gamifying life. That's why I give you points for showing up to a call or watching the replay on a video or doing some steps. Gamify things, makes it easier. You're going to encourage yourself to keep moving along. Step number 3 is accepting the truth to yourself. Usually it's a conversation about honesty. Wherever we're at, we usually know when we've been fucking up, when we've been not doing the things that we should be. We know when we had that extra candy bar or we are sneaking an Oreo. We can't lie to ourselves. And it's just accepting that truth and accepting, well, why isn't the scale moving? It's because we didn't go to the gym day last week. We've lost volume. Or, okay, we did have the Oreos on Friday, but then we had the Easter ham that was all brown sugared up on Sunday. And that's 2 days last week that were kind of falling off and kind of curtailing out. It's just accepting the truth, being honest with yourself. Of course, that's what we talk about when we're on the conversations, but the truth always starts with yourself first. That's usually the hardest. We can lie to ourselves for a while and get ourselves into situations, and the easier or the faster we're able to accept it, faster we're able to get out. All right. Anybody have questions about that? Anybody have questions up until this point? Anybody have any thoughts, ideas? Didn't get enough rest? Okay. Awesome. What, is it going to fix this week?
No. I was just saying in regard to, maybe the scale not moving the way somebody wants it to.
Okay.
In addition to, because, sometimes when you get your diet off track and you don't rest well, just those secondary and I guess the second and third order effects of kind of getting off track.
I've been that honesty of, did I get 7.5 hours of sleep or did I get 6.5? Because that adds up. It truly does. If you're getting under 7, you're undersleeping. So 4th thing we'll go on here then is tracking, making sure that we got to have objectable numbers, whether that's tracking in the gym, making sure that we're getting progressive overload each week, that our weights are going up, our reps are going up, the sets are going up, something is moving forward. Because if we're squatting each week 10 or 3 sets of 10 with 10 pounds in our hand, and it's week 1, week 2, week 3, and we're not moving, we're not progressing. That 10 pounds didn't become 12, didn't become 15, or we didn't go from 10 reps to 12 reps to 15 reps, or we didn't go from 3 sets to 4 sets to 5 sets, or we didn't decrease the rest time and we didn't take it from 60 seconds to 45 seconds of rest to 30 seconds of rest. If we're not doing that, we're not progressing. If we're not progressing, we're not making, well, what it is, progress. And that's what we'll want to achieve. So being able to track our weights in the gym, but also track our food, because that's how we're going to know if we're under consuming, over consuming, getting enough fuel for our recovery. And it goes right back to the honesty. As you can see, a lot of these are connected. So if we're tracking, we're going to have more honesty. It keeps us accountable. Number 5 is going to be making sure that you are controlling your NEAT, your activity, and your EAT. So your non-exercise activity thermogenesis is what NEAT stands for. If you guys have been tagged in my Instagram posts and you see the NEAT there, that's why I'm posting it. It stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is all the activity that you're doing during the day that's non-intentional. This is sweeping the house. This is going for walks. This is, this is making sure that if you're cleaning the litter box, if you are making the bed, if you're doing just chores throughout the house, all the activity that you're doing. We want to be able to increase this. The more that NEAT we can have throughout the day, the more activity we have throughout the day, the higher our metabolism is going to be, the more calories we're going to require. Increasing your EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, all that is your intentional working out, making sure that you are going to the gym, that you are getting some hours at the gym during the week. You don't want to get into an excessive amount, but this doesn't make up as much as your NEAT is going to, because you're not only going to be working out for maybe 6 hours at the most a week, is usually how it goes. Some people can go a little bit more, but on average, no one's going to go more than 5-6 hours a week. So the NEAT really becomes the important part of increasing and making sure that we have that elevated. And the last part here that ties it all together, step number 6, is making sure you guys control stress. That's huge, because if we're stressed out, if our cortisol is high, if we are getting too many stimulants, working out on under 6 hours of sleep, not getting hydration, coming into contact with things that are causing just an inflammatory response, whether that is intolerance to gluten, to dairy, to water. If you're not filtering your water and you've got bad water around you. I'm saying this because Home Depot just did a free test. I actually got a little mailer that when we went there, I filled up with tap water, put in the mailer and a little foam thing and send it off. And they're going to tell me, I guess, if the water's good or not. So kind of scared for those results and not really sure what I should expect, but water, what you're drinking there, if you're drinking tap water and it's not filtered, can cause inflammation. But all these things, if it's adding up throughout the day and causing you stress, we're not going to see weight loss. We're not going to see muscle gain, because at the end of the day, if cortisol is high, then testosterone is going to be lower. Cortisol is high, estrogen is going to be lower. If cortisol is high, the inverse of cortisol, the opposite of cortisol, is melatonin. Melatonin is what helps keep us asleep. That's going to be low. We're not going to get sleep. So, and eventually cortisol will come down, because if it's high, if it's spiked, if you're constantly stressed out, it will eventually come down. But your estrogen, your testosterone, your cortisol, your melatonin is all going to be depleted, which is going to leave you in a state to not be able to burn fat, because testosterone is going to increase your metabolism, require more calories. You're going to be able to hold on to more fat because your body's going to start preserving itself. So I don't think I can say it any more other than we got to control stress. That's at the bottom. It's at the base of all the 5 steps, and it really ties everything together. So does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions over that? I know I was kind of walking through that, but it's really the 6 steps of what I see as far as being able to kind of get back on track after the holidays, what it takes to have success in any fitness and health goal, I would say. And yeah. Any questions, guys? Anything that I can help you with? Anything that was inspired from that?
I have a question. So, what do you recommend if, so say you're like going on vacation or something and you don't want to get off track, what do you recommend doing if you're not able to go to the gym while you're on vacation or, maybe get your normal steps in that you would normally do?
Yeah, so it just depends on what kind of vacation it is. I know when I'm going on vacation, I will always plan around like activities if we're going out to adventure, to hike, to do that kind of thing. So planning the vacation around activities. If you're going to the beach, exploring the beach, enjoying the waves, that's going to add up an activity there. So that really just depends. Obviously, you can't change and force the people that you're going with to always do those kind of things. But if you are then trying to maintain some sort of activity, having a pair of bands that can attach to the door, if you have just loop bands, you can do a lot with that because they're called, you can do something similar to a trigger session, just activating the muscles, getting a quick pump, being able to hit like 10, 15 minutes of a workout in the room before you start your day is going to help just maintain muscle mass. You're not obviously going to build a bunch on a vacation, but you can get that activity. You can start to get some of the movements, the squat, the deadlift, hinge movements, single leg movements inside of a hotel room or Airbnb, wherever you're staying, even outdoors. But it goes a long way for just making sure that you are staying active with your consistency. Because if you go for a week and you're the type of person that you've been hitting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and if you miss for a week, you're not coming back to that second week, then yeah, making sure that you force yourself to actually do something on that Monday, Wednesday, Friday to keep your consistency, even though it might be body weight, even though it's not going to be the same things that you want to do. It's where you should go for that. Does that kind of answer your question as far as travel?
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, of course. Anybody else have any other questions? Anything else? Any fun facts? Nothing? Everybody's cameras off. Everybody's celebrating 420. Is that what we're doing? I didn't realize I was gonna have a bunch of stoners on my call tonight. That's wild. I told that to my mom today, and she didn't even realize it was a holiday. She's like, "What do you mean it's a holiday?" I had to explain to her the whole thing, and she's like, "That seems silly." I'm like, "It is. It is." And I feel silly that I have to explain it to you. I'm gonna stop the recording here, though. Everybody on the that's watching the recording, thank you for watching. There we go. Stop that. Oh, let's see.